Hello and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Blueprint podcasts. I'm your host, Jeff O'Donnell, and joining me today is Skylor Alexander, owner of Stag Homes Design Build. Thanks for being with us today, Skylor. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a great day, Mondays are always a little busy, but
Yep.
I enjoy that.
Awesome. Excellent. So let's kick things off. Could you tell us a bit about your role at Stag Homes Design Build and how you got started in the construction business?
Okay. I always say, I got started in the construction business by growing up kind of a poor blue collar kid. And so when you grow up in that kind of socioeconomic status, it's kind of just what you go into, that automotive, a lot of the tech programs, more of the trade style. Careers. And so that was how it got started. I wandered in and out of construction and went and did a lot of different things, but I came up with Stag Homes 7 years ago. I saw a huge need for homeowners to be cared for better. That just was not happening. And so we worked really hard to create a process that cares for the client and tries to elevate their experience through the construction process. And so that's how Stag Homes was born. And that is really how we attack every day. So when we're doing things like Monday morning meetings, we discuss, what happened over the last week? Did you hit any hurdles that we needed to look at to see if there's process changes that need to happen to make sure we can continue to elevate the client's experience. And so a lot of times when we're making decisions, if it's not a good decision for the client or the employees, it's a decision that we just do not make.
Nice. That's a great story, man. Thank you. Now looking at the broader industry, what are some of the biggest shifts or trends you're currently observing in the construction market?
Oh, the trends are always tough, where we're at in Kansas City and kind of Kansas used to be like about 2 hours from us was dead center of the United States until they added Hawaii or Alaska. I can't
R-
remember which one.
Right.
um, so we're in kind of a niche market around here where we are in what I believe is the fifth richest county in the United States. So we kind of get a wide range of things, but higher end projects. A lot of the trends that we're seeing, the big one is just lots and lots of soaker tubs in bathrooms. With kitchens, it's really coming up with really good design features that lend to the functionality of the kitchen while also making sure that it is really well designed and fits the space without knowing um, what your what's hidden behind the cabinet, I guess I would say.
Okay.
And so when sometimes you'll open doors on some of our cabinets, like, oh, that's a nice feature. We've built features in where it looks like a cabinet wall, and then you open two of the doors and you walk in behind the kitchen into a pantry. And so, that was a
Oh,
really
wow.
fun one. I always like doing we're doing a hidden door in a gym right now. We're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
the vertical slats on the wall. The door's getting installed today, and then we put those vertical slats on that door, so you'll never know that door is there unless somebody tells you. And so I really like doing hidden features like that and doing some more elevated features in home bars and wine rooms. We have a wine room that we're getting ready to start here soon, which is always fun.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
So you mentioned the soaker tubs in bathrooms. You say that's the most common or?
that's we're in the US. We have a lot of builders in the 90s were doing lots of built-in jacuzzi tubs and like corner units and things like that. And in the last 7 years, I've only installed one. It was for a single gentleman that wanted it for his master bathroom or his primary bathroom. And so a lot of times we're just removing those and we're putting in really, really nice soaker tubs that, some of them have aromatherapy in them built
Oh,
in.
nice.
They have separate motors that actually have to be below the grade of the tub and a certain distance away. And we get really,
Right.
really neat things with some of these tubs that are a lot of fun. Um, we One of the ones we did is just the install was 5 grand because of how we had to do it, and we came up with a feature underneath the vanity. So underneath their feet, it looked like there
Mhm.
was a shelf, kind of a small shelf, but it wasn't. And you actually could pull the top out, and that was where you accessed the motor. Because
Oh, no
most of them
way.
used to operate off of pushing water around, and now most of them have moved to being air jetted. and heated air at that. So then it doesn't cool your tub down. It actually maintains temperature. And then you can input aromatherapy into some of these heaters and pumps. So then it will, you know, have that spa-like experience that a lot of people are looking for. And
Right.
so those are the big ones, and then just really large showers. I mean, with all sorts of features, body jets, multiple heads, depending upon how many people, if you want his and her shower heads, so then you're not commingling all your products and things together because some people really like that. One of my favorite features is everybody's used to the niche you put in the wall for all of your soaps and hygiene products, but then down lower, we also put in a second one, and that's for anyone who needs to shave their legs or do something like that. It's you can put your foot up on that instead of having to reach it up on really high up onto a bench and risk falling over or
Yeah.
something like that.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so beyond that, what's currently working really well for Stag Homes Design Build?
We for us, we're actually in a kind of shift in the business right now that we've done is we did a lot of we were doing custom homes, lots of builds. We were really trying to concentrate on the attainable housing market to make housing more affordable in the US. But for us, we saw some opportunities in the market for us to move into other areas and get rid of doing the builds, because for me, as a steward of the business, I have to make sure that everyone is being cared for financially and that we can service debts and make sure that everybody's getting the products they need. And so when you're doing home builds, there's a very nice market for some people in there, but currently in the US, builders are holding on to about 28% of the homes that are for sale right now, which is a large number. And when you have to hold on to homes for that period of time, it
Yeah.
really impacts your bottom line, and you can lose a lot of your profits that way. And so we
Right.
made a conscious shift to just stick with remodeling for the time being, and really we're ramping up our exteriors division. We've created some um, partnerships within the exteriors world where we're exclusively with James Hardy. And so that helps a lot because with the new codes that are coming in, James Hardy helps people with lowering their insurance costs. That's actually has a really good fire rating. So if your home catches fire, that or somebody shoots fireworks at the outside of your house or something like that, which happens
Right.
frequently around here in the States during the 4th of July,
Right.
and so it has a lot of benefits. And then we're
Hmm.
ramping up our windows and our roofing side. We do work with a national builder right now, helping them execute a lot of their um, homes. So with them, we're helping on the exterior side doing roofing, gutters, siding, and all their decks for about 200 plus homes this year that they're going to
Oh, wow.
build in Kansas City. So we currently hold 4 of their developments right now.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing.
And those partnerships are huge. I guess that's what I would really say is the one thing that so many people don't do is look for partnerships within their own industry. Friday we just locked in a partnership, or the beginning of that partnership, to where somebody who doesn't do kitchens, um, they get 4 or 5 calls a week for kitchens. So we're going to take that load while they're wanting to increase their commercial offerings. And my COO and I have a lot of experience on the commercial side. So we're going to share our experience with them so they can scale that side. And then
Yeah.
they're going to pass us their kitchens and basements and decks. So
Oh,
then it
nice.
creates a huge market opportunity that could be worth a few $1 million at the end of the
Yeah.
year.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, what areas are you finding most frustrating or challenging?
Regulations. Regulations um, definitely serve a purpose, and they have to be there for the protection of the homeowner. But in the US, we have gotten to a point where regulations are making it harder and much more expensive to build.
Right.
Here we like on the Kansas City, Missouri side, we have Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. I'm on the Kansas side, but we work both sides of the state.
Okay.
And so on the Kansas City, Missouri side, they do not function as well as some of the other municipalities do. And so it can take up to a year to get a permit approved.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's time that we spend, where like our designers or some of our permitting and planning department people will spend 10, 20, 30 hours. Well, we can't just do those things for free. And there's, so we have to, figure out a way to absorb those costs or make them a piece of the project. And so it makes homeowner or renovations of homes much, much more expensive. And the National Home Builders Association this year, or in 2025, launched the Let Builders Build campaign.
Okay.
And it's been very successful with our local politicians and them reaching out to us to see how can we help make housing more affordable, what regulations are important and which ones are actually inhibiting our ability to build, and to kind of help with those costs, because there's
Right.
sometimes where we're 10 grand in before we ever even get a permit.
Oh, wow.
And that's definitely not fair to homeowners or
No.
people looking to be homeowners that maybe want to buy a home that's not to the level they want to
Right.
want it to be at. And so then we have to come in and renovate the house to get them to where they want to be. And it's so costly. And to
Yeah.
me, a lot of it is just bureaucratic stuff that happens, that's just unnecessary. And then I'd say that's my biggest complaint, and a lot of
Okay.
builders' complaints. And so I've joined the International Code Council, where we can help develop, adjust, and write some of the codes to make them more advantageous to homeowners, for 2027 and beyond.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. If so, here's a different kind of question. If you had a
Mhm.
magic wand and you could fix one thing in your business that's holding you back or slowing you down, what would that one thing be right now?
Access to qualified labor. And I think that would probably be everybody's, the majority of people's complaint at this point, because in the
Yeah.
US, there was such a push over the last 20, 30 years for everyone to go to college, and trades are bad. And in the States, a lot of people kind of tend to look down on construction people in the trades, and not just construction, just in the trades in general, where
Hmm.
our countries couldn't operate without us being here. And I don't think there's enough appreciation in the market for the guys that do stuff. Because right now we are losing, for every one person that comes in, we're losing nine.
Oh, wow.
And so we have a huge crunch on labor. And then what that does is also starts increasing the cost of construction and renovations and just maintenance on homes,
Right.
because we have to pay higher rates because we don't have the access to labor. And there's a lot of those things that happen. And so what I've done to try and help that is I'm on a couple of education advisory boards for some of our local school districts. Five of them is how many I'm working with right now in their trades programs to help kids coming into the market, making sure that we help guide the trades curriculums,
Hmm.
so that when the kids come out, they are better prepared for the workforce. So we go
Right.
out and we do a lot of speaking engagements with the kids. We have programs where they build big playhouses and dog houses and other big projects, so they learn how to go out into the market and pitch an idea, then show them the idea on paper, and then actually build it.
Right.
And then we also have internship programs. I have one female that's working with us right now 3 days a week out of one of the local high schools, and it's part of their trades program that they have to do an internship and get the field experience.
Right.
And so there are ways to mitigate it, but we've kind of started it a little too late, where
Okay.
we're having a lot of issues with getting qualified people. And that's on the city side as well. When I talked about regulation of our building inspectors, not all, but some that are coming in just aren't as knowledgeable and haven't been trained and taught about construction techniques and just how to apply our building codes here in the States.
Right. Yeah, that makes it difficult then.
It does, yeah.
So looking ahead now, where do you envision Stag Homes Design Build being in the next 6 to 12 months?
We have some pretty ambitious goals. We we are trying to increase our revenue by over 300% this year.
Wow.
I have doubled revenue every year since I've started over the last 7 years, but I would say it's not hard to do when you start at zero.
Right.
you know,
It's a
and
good point.
so we have a really good team behind us, and everybody they're just really high performance individuals. We have award-winning designers on our team that really know how to execute and care for people. And so we're making the big leap this year, and then we're accomplishing that by some of our strategic partnerships with national builders and then other construction companies within the city, and really ramping up our exteriors division, where we only did exteriors if it was part of an addition or we were already doing another piece of the project. We didn't have standalone exterior projects available, and now we do. We have the
Okay.
capability to, like, if, say, for siding and roofing, we have the capability to do about 20 homes a week.
Oh, wow.
You know, our siding crews right now are siding two-story, 1,500 to 2,500 square foot homes in one day. Now, those
Wow.
are new construction where we're not having to tear off. If we have to tear off, as long as we're not finding any wood rot and other damage to the home behind the siding, we can have that same house done in 2 days. And so
Right.
we have the ability to execute a lot of projects.
Yeah. No, it sounds like that's great. So would you say you're like, where are you guys in terms of like growth and operational efficiency? Like, are you maxed out yet, or can you always take on more?
Um, no, we can always take on more.
Okay.
Um, but we've been planning this um growth for about the last 6 months. And then with the new COO I brought in about 3 months ago, he has really helped clarify the processes, get everybody on the same page, and have accountability across the board. Because a lot of times people look at accountability as a punishment. It's really not. Accountability for us is, hey, we know we want to be one of the highest executing companies in our region. And in order to do that, we have to make sure we have measurable metrics that say every week, here's what needs to be accomplished. And every quarter, we have to do these things. And so it just
Right.
really helps create real clarity for everyone, including myself. Because I run my business to where I tell everybody, like, I'm not the owner that's going to sit there and say, don't you try to correct me. I want to know when I'm making mistakes, when I'm
Right.
making things harder for you. I always want to be better.
Yeah.
And so we really try to push that we're all open books around here, and that nobody gets upset when we're like, hey, we kind of saw this happening, you're doing it this way. We think if we made these adjustments or changes, that it will help, these other two departments be able
Yeah.
to execute faster, better, or be a better service to our clients.
Right. So you're taking that accountability serious yourself then too with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's really the thing I've noticed is it's been really difficult to get through with incoming employees, to get through that trauma of previous employers and bosses,
Right.
of where they've just really beat them down and just made it not okay to speak their mind and say, hey, I think this would really help.
Yeah.
And when we stifle creativity and thought in our companies, it drives them into the ground, in my opinion. There
Yeah.
are certain things where I always tell everybody, I won't always be able to say yes, but I will work really hard to always say yes. Because
Right.
sometimes there's just certain things that are happening that we just have to say, we can't do that right now, or that's not a good fit for XYZ, reasons. And so that's really where we come in on that side of things.
Wow. Okay. Now, is there anything else you want to discuss or before we finish up?
No, I mean, that's real. All I tell everybody is just keep plugging away. Don't get scared, and try to make sure you concentrate on your clients. Because if you concentrate on the clients and stop paying attention to your competitors, you will always do better. Because too many people are busy looking, okay, what's he doing? Maybe I should copy what he's doing. But it's like, you are
Right.
your own individual business, and you should not want to be like anybody else. You want to look at what gaps are in the market and try to find those gaps and fulfill a service, because
Yep.
construction, to me, is not about building. It is about solving a problem.
Yep.
And people hire us to solve problems of, I don't like my house, I don't like the way it looks, I don't like the way it functions.
Hmm.
We have certain things that are inefficient. And so we really just try to look at what client needs are and go from there, and really bring a whole new level of experience and what that project timeline looks like for the emotional side of it. Because with client or with our homeowners, it's a very intrusive um, process for them,
Right.
and we try to help everyone we can. And so I would always encourage everyone to pay attention to your clients and not your competitors, because there's too much work out there for any of us to be in competition with each other.
Absolutely. Wow.
Hmm.
Well, that's amazing advice. Well, that's all we have for this episode of Beyond the Blueprint. I want to thank our guest, Skylor Alexander, for his insight and expertise. It's been a real pleasure. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Thank
where,
you.
so where can our listeners find you or contact you if need be?
So we, if you want to find something really interesting, we just launched AI phone answering service. It doesn't mitigate our humans, but you can call 913-408-5757, and that'll get you directly to our secretary. But if she doesn't answer within 3 rings, the AI will pick up, and it is amazing how accurate it is and the questions it can answer. Like, I can get on phone calls with it and do test runs, and I intentionally try to confuse it and make it answer wrong and do things, and it just will not. So that one's a really fun one for us, because now
Yeah.
we've increased our level of service to the clients once again. And then you can get us at staghomeskc.com. And that one is with a 1G, and it's the K and the C, short for Kansas City.
Okay.
And then we're Stag Homes on social media is just everywhere, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Our YouTube's not great yet, but we're getting there. We're
Okay.
gonna start posting some more content on there and getting that ramped
Yep.
up. So that's where you can find us, and I'm always available. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I try to make myself available, that if other industry professionals want to get together and have a little mastermind or discuss strategies and things that are working for them and things that are working for us. I always love collaborating with others to learn more things, because even if they have less experience, I can still learn things from them and they can learn from us, just as
Right.
I go up the ladder and try to get to the bigger guys to learn how they can help me too. So
Yeah. Awesome. No, that's amazing.
yeah.
So yeah, I am your host, Jeff O'Donnell, and I guess we're out and we hope to catch you on the next one. Thanks a
All
lot.
right, thanks guys, and see you.